Here we go with your notes for lesson 3.5. They will be about graphing using slope intercept form. Remember, if I'm writing it on the board, you should be writing it down on your paper. First of all, let's define or tell you what is slope intercept form. If you have a linear equation and you have it solved for y, slope intercept form will look like this, where the letter here that is in front of the x is the slope, and the letter back here that they have a b with is the y-intercept. Let's first of all go through and have you do 5 quick examples where you will identify the slope and the y-intercept of each one. So we'll write the equation here, y equals 3x plus 2. Then let's give yourself a column where you will write in what is the slope of that equation, and then another column next to it where we will write in what is the y-intercept. Second equation we'll do is y equals negative x minus 4. Third equation will be y equals 1/2 times x. Fourth equation will be y equals 6. And the last equation will be y equals 4 plus 5x. And on the first equation, our slope is right here. Our slope is 3, and our y-intercept is right here. It's 2. If you would, pause the video and allow students to go through right now and fill in the slope and the y-intercept for the rest and see what they might have trouble with. Alright, back looking at what are the slopes and y-intercepts of what we have left here. The next ones might be tricky unless you remember there's really an unwritten 1 in front of the x. So on that one, the slope should have been listed as a negative 1, and the y-intercept should be listed as negative 4. On the next one, your slope should be what you see right here that's in front of the x, the 1/2, and the y-intercept on that one is 0. If you had written it in, there's a plus 0 there that's just not showing up. On the next one, the y-intercept is 6, which might leave you asking yourself, what's the slope then? This equation, if it was truly written in slope-intercept form, would be y equals 0x plus 6. So your slope on that one is this 0. And on the last one, they do have it written where these two terms are kind of in a different order to be what's truly slope-intercept form. The 5 is now the number that's with the x, that is your slope, and the 4 is your y-intercept. Okay, so if we move ahead and look at the next thing you will have to be doing is changing equations into slope-intercept form. And for example 6, we'll give you the equation 3x minus 3y is equal to 12. And what's really meant here by solve or change to slope-intercept form, they really mean solve this equation for y. So if we're going to get y all by itself, we have to get rid of the stuff on the left side of the equation that's also over here First of all, we'd want to get rid of this term of 3x. So to get rid of the 3x, right now it's a positive 3x, we need to subtract 3x. If we do it there, we have to go over and subtract it on the other side of the equal sign. That'll give us 0. What will come down now, we'll bring down a negative 3y. That is now equal to, and these are not like terms, so we cannot combine them. I'm going to put it in the order of a negative 3x and a positive 12 second. From here, we have to get rid of this negative 3 we're multiplying the y by, so we're going to divide both sides by a negative 3, divide by a negative 3, which is going to end up now resulting in us having that y equals, and we have to be careful, both terms have to be divided by that negative 3. And the negative divided by the negative 3 is going to give us a positive 1, which I'm just going to write x for, but there's a positive 1 in front of the x there. And we also have to make sure we divide this positive 12 by that negative 3, which will result in us having a negative 4. So our equation now is y equals x minus 4. That tells us we have a slope of 4. Whoops, not of 4. We have a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of negative 4. Example 7. X plus 4y equals 8. If you would, let's pause the video, and as a class you can go through, try solving that for y yourself. Alright, coming back to see what you should have done here, we should have subtracted x from both sides, which will give you that 4y equals a negative x plus 8. Then we should be dividing both sides by the 4. Divide this side by 4, and we will get that y equals, let's remember there's a 1 in front of that x, and we have to divide this, which will result in a negative 1/4 times x. And then we also have to divide that 8 by 4, which will result in a plus 2. So here our slope is negative 1/4, and our y-intercept is 2. Alright, in your homework for today too, you will also have to graph equations. We're just going to have you do 3 of them in your homework to see how you do with doing it. When you go to graph equations like example 6, you'll have to set up a coordinate axis. So if you'll draw one quickly with me here, and I know we're doing it on your notebook paper and that's not graph paper, but to show you what to do to get started, it would be to look at this and go, hey, my y-intercept is negative 4, so I need to start off down here at negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and that's where my y-intercept is going to go, right there. After you do that, you need to look at your slope and have the understanding if your slope is 1, what that's going to mean is that you have a ratio of 1 over 1, where the 1 on top is your rise and the 1 on bottom is your run. So from this green point we're going to rise 1 and run 1, and that will give us another point that's on the graph. And you could keep doing this to get more points on the graph. We're going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and you could put a point at each one of these spots where you have gone up 1 over 1. Realize you could also go backwards, and that would be to look back here at your slope and realize a negative 1 over a negative 1 is also equal to a positive 1 slope, so you could go down 1, back 1, down 1, back 1, and those will keep getting you more points that are on your graph as well, so that when you go to graph this, you get a line that will be going right through all of those dots that you now have on your graph. If we do the second one that we have over here, set up our coordinate axes, Why don't all of you, let's pause the video, have students at this point try getting that graphed. Alright, with the video unpaused, here's our -1, -2, -3, -4, -1, -2, -3, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our y-intercept here is this. So I'm going to put a dot at 2. Our slope is now -1/4, which is really equal to a -1 over a +4. So from this red dot I could go down the 1 and over the 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would allow me to put another dot that will be on our graph. -1/4 would also have been equal to a +1 over a -4. So if we wanted to kind of work backwards and get a point in the other direction, we can go up the 1 as long as we go back the 4. And that gives us another dot for our graph. And the farther you can get these dots apart between this graph and that dot, let's say, the better off you're going to have as far as putting an accurate line on your graph through there. And there will be graph paper for you to do that on your homework. So hopefully that's good notes for you to get going on your assignment, and good luck.